Hi, I'm Tim Irish. I'm going to show you a neat little trick that I discovered a long time ago, and I've taught it to a whole lot of people, and it's a real neat trick for putting parachute posts and wings on a dry fly, whether the dry fly be, say, a thorax style mayfly where you have a split wing kind of swept back a little bit, or a forward split wing like in a Royal Wulff or something like that. You can also do a single wing out of it, swept back like a Trude wing, and you can also do a spinner wing out of it. It's real easy to do that. Probably the neatest thing that you can do with this application, though, is a parachute post. Most people really have a hard time with parachute posts, and I can show you how to get a parachute post that'll be really good, really functional and strong, and you can do it in 30 seconds or less. And 30 seconds or less on all the other wings I just described to you too. Plus, this is a synthetic material. I like to use polypropylene, maybe Antron works okay. Other synthetic materials like Zelon and like Widow's Web works really well for this. But I usually use mostly a polypropylene yarn. It's a little chunky, but it really goes on nice. It really holds really nice. It's very durable, and it doesn't absorb water, so your fly is going to be less maintenance for you as you go down the line. Less drying off time and less casting your dry fly to get the water out of it, because your water isn't going to attach itself to or be absorbed by the polypropylene. So that's an added bonus of using these materials as wing materials. But mostly it's the time that you take and the ease of making these wings that just turn out really good every time. Especially the parachute posts that I think you'll find really dramatically better than other means of putting a parachute post and wings on. And you do have to remember on this thing you apply actually half as much as you need, because you'll see that we're actually putting two pieces on at the same time, and so you need to use half of what you really think you should be applying as far as the parachute post, because it will double up and be twice as big when you get done. And you'll see that how that works as we go along here. So let's go ahead and tie some flies here. I'm not going to tie the entire fly. I'm just going to put examples of wings on and show you how easy it is, and a parachute post. So let's get going. Okay, we're going to start off by doing the parachute post. This scares an awful lot of people, but I'm going to show you a slick way to build one in about 30 seconds. And we'll start by building a base to put our post on. Or you probably would have already put your tail and body in on this, but we're just going to do the post itself. So we built a little bed to put it on, and then we're going to take some polypropylene yarn. I made it white so you can see it real easy. You can take half as much yarn as you think you need for the post, and you wrap it around the thread just like this, and then pull it right up into place and place it exactly where you want that parachute post to be. In this case right there. We're going to make about a half dozen wraps ahead of that to lock it in, and another half dozen wraps behind or less. And then we're going to run up the parachute post by using the parachute pass. We're going to make about 5 wraps up and about 3 wraps down. And it doesn't matter how it looks, because you're going to build, hackle over the top of it anyway. So just again, about 5 wraps up and about 3 wraps down, and then we're going to lock this thing in by coming around it and pulling it towards you like that, and then we're going to come around and pull it away from you, just like we did there, and then lock it in with 2 more wraps and you're done. Now notice how this will not pull out. You can't pull it out because it's actually wrapped around the thread. You can't pull it backwards. You can't pull it forward. Nor can you pull it out side to side. It's there to stay, and it's there permanently. And at this point, you'd be putting your hackle on and clip this down. You notice that after you get done clipping this, that it makes a real nice looking post. It flares out quite a bit, so the hackle can't slide off of it, and it gives you a nice beacon to see out there on the water. And we did that in about 30 seconds. So that's pretty cool. Now we're going to do the swept back wing, and you use this on like a thorax mayfly pattern or any other pattern where you want a swept back wing like a royal coachman or something to that effect. We're going to take this white polypropylene yarn and do exactly like we do with the post. Pull it, wrap it around the thread, and pull it right up on top where you want it to be. And you know, half dozen, give or take, wraps in front of it and behind it. Once it looks like right where you want it to be, then you're pretty much done there. But we're going to separate these wings by coming through them with the thread, and then come back on it and force it back like this. Just a couple wraps to hold it back in that position. Notice that it's now separated and flowing back over the top of the body of your fly. And then when we clip it, it'll look real cool. Now, if you do want it to be more distinctly apart, you might run your hackle through the middle of it as well. And you can see we have a nice swept back wing there that takes about 20-30 seconds. So now we're going to do the Wulff wing, as you do on, say, a Royal Wulff. This is just exactly like we did this swept back wing, only we're just going to bring it forward. So it's just really easy to figure out how we're going to do this. But I'll go ahead and do it so you can watch this whole technique again. Half a dozen wraps in front, half a dozen wraps behind. If you have a few strands that are being a problem, just pull them out of there like that. And then you have a nice wing. But we're going to split this exactly like we did with the swept back wing. But this time, of course, we're just going to put a couple wraps behind it, directly behind it, just to hold it forward. And it'll, if you want it to come way forward, you can put more than just a couple of wraps in. And if you want it to just be sort of straight up-ish, you can just put a couple wraps in right behind it. So you can see this is about the right angle for the Wulff wing, and we separate it by coming through it. And then when you cut it, of course, you put the hackle on there first and run the hackle through the middle of it if you want it to be separate. And when you cut it, you have that nice Wulff wing, which is definitely easier than using calf tail hair. If you've ever tried that, it's not easy. And now I'm just going to tie a quick Hi-Vis parachute like you'd use on a blue and olive pattern or something. Just to show you how fast you can actually do this once you get going. I did wrap it around the thread, a half dozen wraps in front, a couple of wraps behind, do the parachute pass up and down, and then lock it in towards you, lock it in away from you, and a couple more wraps and you're done. It takes you 20 seconds to do a parachute post, and it looks really cool. So as you can see, this is quite easy. There's your post.